Black maladjustment is a political factor, and I often try to get across to people the understanding that when we go to these universities and these schools, one of the greatest deceptions that's run upon us is the idea that the things that we are taught in these schools are non-political, that they are neutral, that they are somehow universal. And of course, the whites run a beautiful game on us when they, for instance, name their courses without putting their ethnicity in front of them. They don't say white psychology, white education, white economics, white physics, white chemistry, you know. And we often naively then assume because they're called economics, psychology, anthropology, that means we are in a course that has general and universal meanings. And we are made to think that we are odd when we call a course Black Studies, that there's something wrong with it. But every course in the American college and university and in the American educational establishment is a course in white studies, ladies and gentlemen. And every course in every discipline is designed for essentially the same thing, to maintain white dominance. We must be very conscious of that. And we must recognize that a major part of the education of our children and of ourselves is the fact that we have to politicize the courses that we're taking, even science, even physics and chemistry. So a lot of people think, well, you know, we're talking about atoms and molecules and this and that, and they have no ethnicity and they have no politics. In a fundamental way, you may be right, but on another level, there's a problem with that. Scientific thinking and technological development does not just develop in the head of some genius. It's not the result of some scientific genius who happened to strike upon some major discovery. Scientific discovery and technological development take place within a political social structure. You have to have a political system, a system of social relations, an economic system in order that science and technology develop and flourish. They do not flourish in a vacuum. Therefore, it is not enough just to teach your children physics and chemistry. You must teach them the politics of physics and chemistry. You must teach them the economics of physics and chemistry. You must teach them how a system must organize itself politically and socially such that physical and chemical research take place. It is not enough for us to educate African boys and girls in science and technology so that African can catch up with the Europeans. You will never catch up with the European just by knowing science and technology. Because, ladies and gentlemen, you have to finance technological research. You have to pay scientists to do research. People just don't do research for nothing. If you run the latest physics experiment, you would have to produce a cyclotron with a circumference of some 20 or 30 miles around that costs billions of dollars. And if you're then talking about catching up with the European scientifically, then you must catch up with the European and surpass him, what? Economically. If your children are to work for you and give their scientific genius to the advancement of Black people, then we as Black people must give them an economic, social, and political foundation in which their gifts can be realized and handed over to us as a people. And therefore, merely to teach chemistry and physics as some neutral subject, as some body of knowledge unrelated to everything else going on into the world, is to be miseducated. That is one of the reasons why we have a country filled as Black people with chemists, with engineers, machinists, and yet we don't seem to be able to export one gun to South Africa. We don't seem to be able to make one bomb. We have generals and sergeants and Green Berets and Rangers and all of the rest, and yet we are unable to train one guerrilla or anything else to fight for their liberation in this world because there's a lack of social organization. It is not enough just to have knowledge. It is not enough just to have money. Money and knowledge must be organized in order to be effective. And knowledge, in order to flourish and be actualized in some concrete advancement for people, must be based ultimately on social relations between those people. So there must be a social structure. And while your children are learning science and mathematics, they must learn to love themselves and to love one another and to cooperate one with the other. Or else they'll have an Afrocentric mind, but they will still have to go down to IBM and Xerox and do their work. And ultimately, then, they will still be racked by a sense of inferiority and dependency.
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast on the forecast. First of all, shouts out to everybody. Now today I want to talk about history, and hopefully I will have time to do that, But I do have to say something about, the politics of mathematics, what I'm saying? Us learning, political mathematics. Right? Because and the thing is, and I don't want to touch on this one too much this time, because although a lot of the talking points is the same and a lot of the same stuff is going on, like it's a cycle that we all understand and aware about, right? But this time, like on social media, it's like it's a little bit different with as far as Black people, you know what I'm saying? And especially with politics, because it's good to see. And I think that this part is somewhat of an advancement, that more of us are more politically aware, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that we haven't always been, but we know like there was something that happened in our community that threw us off for a little while, and we're getting our political education back up. And even back then they talked about how we had to learn get out a political education, right? And so it's like somewhat of an advancement, right? But right now it's like we have learned, like have so much access to information, and we have learned so much that you can't tell anybody anything, right? So it's just going to turn into an argument and debate. But we not haven't necessarily us as we, haven't learned all enough to know where sometimes we may or may not know what the hell we're talking about, right? And it's completely different, because I remember the last time, or maybe it was the time before that, when we was talking about that, and I was more into it, because a lot of people weren't talking about it, but those who were was just only really saying the Democrat stuff. But now you do see a lot more people on like debating about both sides and all of this other stuff, you know what I'm saying? As if, right, they're not the part of the same thing, right? They do it to their own people, right? That's how they keep their own people, like the fighting each other and enslaved, you know what I'm saying? Because yes, they do enslave each other, right? But anyway, this is like a big reason why I don't want to talk about politics this time around for real that much, and I don't want to get too much into it, and I'd rather just talk about history. But and especially now, because I've seen everybody on social media and in real life talking about like that debate, but I didn't watch it at all. I mean, I wasn't interested this time, I guess. Last time I thought it would be funny, but like this time I'm just like, I just had no interest, right? But all right, let me get into it so we can what's going on, considering. So yeah, I'm talking about like, because this is why I don't really necessarily want to talk about it, because everybody, it's good that we are more politically aware and we have more access to information. But I think right now we at a point where we may we may have enough information that we think we know what we're talking about, and we can't nobody can tell us nothing, but maybe not enough yet to know when we don't know what we're talking about. And we sit here, I see a lot of people talking about all that. Yeah, I ain't even watched that stuff. And by the way, I just want to play this because this may explain a lot, you know.
I'm a white person trapped in a black skin. I've never dated black people. I'm not black enough for the black culture, but I'm not white enough for the white culture. But that's not my fault. I don't see myself as black.
What do you see yourself as?
I'm a white person. It's weird. I know I sound like
no, and this is the whole purpose of the show, is that we get to see the other side of it. Automatically, when anybody says that, especially because everybody's getting all woke right now, is for me to get an understanding of. Like, I know we've had a conversation where you say you live the Afrikaans culture. I mean, your man is Afrikaans, but do you see yourself as black and white? And for you to say white, is that because of the Afrikaans upbringing or because there's nothing black that you can identify with?
She said I'm a European girl. Stop it.
it's difficult because I don't identify as being black. Also, like I was brought up white, so I couldn't learn how to be black. So now, from the beginning, I was raised white.
Oh boy, this make a whole lot more. See, like now our political education makes a lot more sense. Yeah, just lost. She's white, and the other girl trying to defend it, like, oh, you mean like in a political kind of way, as in a class structure? Like, no, I'm talking about, no, I'm white, like I'm a white girl, you know. Like, Lord have mercy. Well, anyway, y'all. Oh yeah, Cassandra, I wanted you to see this because years ago, this was like 2019. Oh, you probably saw it, Cassandra. But in 2019, I had to show this on here because in 2019 I was talking about this with the makeup stuff. And because people was even telling me, like, how, you know how they always be like Chicago, they was like, yo, black people, they was putting on masks pretending to be black people doing like ride through the neighborhood shooting at people. It's like people ain't out here tripping like that. Like, is it some people, like, it's every hood, but people was telling me that back then, and people never really believed me. Only a few people believed me, you know. And even this person in the comment, he was like, I remember the mask they made of black men that was so realistic. I've always believed the murders happening in various black neighborhoods are not all black men, but imposters. Right. And people was like, yo, I was crazy for saying that, you know, because I was like, because I seen the evidence. I can't find it because the whole pandemic. So now if you put in masks, all you see is like those masks for, like, you know, a black mask for a pandemic or something. But like, yo, if you had, like, I know I have it on him. They may not have taken it down, but in 2019, I showed it. They had a picture of they had the whole thing that had came out about this masked dude got caught with, and it looked just like a black dude, and he was trying to shoot somebody or do a crime or something. So let me play this.
I'm going to keep reminding y'all, stop believing everything y'all see, especially on social media. Y'all see this? I'm shocked. Like, how is that not his head? Look how realistic this looks. I'm not gonna lie. They had me all the way fooled. Look at that. That's not even him. Stop believing everything y'all see.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? And I just had to show that because people didn't believe me, like, back then. I was like, yeah, they come in with, man, they were like, no, man, black on black crime, you know how we do, we just so bad, you know what I'm saying? You know, we gotta go in on ourselves. But I was like, nah, like, some of that stuff is not even true. Like, I'm not saying that no black bad people exist, you know what I'm saying? But some of that was like people, and this is what people was even telling me. And then I seen the thing, and I showed the news thing where the white boy got caught with a black face mask. You know what I'm saying? Ready to do something, like, whatever. They thought he was a black dude and all of that, you know. And, you know, they already can't tell. But anyway, you know, so, yeah, you remember this. So, even with that, you know, debate, I don't have much to say about it, you know, because it's not really
respectful.
My problem, you know, he going on for like 30 minutes about like, oh, this is disrespectful, as much as caping we do for CNN and all these things, and black black reporters is excluded from the thing. I don't know whose side is to blame on this one, because they must have agreed on this one. And so, your boy went in for a minute, talking about how black media was kicked out. They was like, yeah, we'll give you a play-by-play though. We got you. But I ain't gonna talk about it that much. I want to play my good brother's MG2 John. He's so y'all subscribe to MG2 page, I was just tripping off something. I ain't gonna say much. I just wanted to play some of the videos he was showing on there, and y'all should listen to him for his economy, his what he's talking about. What's going on, my brother Anthony. Yeah, y'all should check him out for that. His analysis is the word I was looking for. But I'm gonna just play some of this stuff he was playing.
Hello, I'm Dana Bash in Washington, where the state of our union is at an inflection point. President Joe Biden is in Camp David today for a long-planned family gathering. It comes as he faces pressure from panicked Democrats to reconsider his re-election bid, amid persistent concerns about his capabilities following CNN's presidential debate. Yesterday evening, Biden's campaign brushed off those concerns, including from a stack of newspaper editorials this weekend, urging him to step aside. As top campaign officials argued, the panic is coming from, quote, the bedwetting brigade and the Beltway class, and does not reflect voters' views. Biden himself told donors in New Jersey yesterday, quote, I understand the concern after the debate. I get it. I didn't have a great night, but I'm going to be fighting harder.
And he went to, it's like, yeah, he went to Waffle House.
A senior campaign official told me that the president has not.
Yeah, they have to. I don't know why they put him in there.
Wavered in his belief that his candidacy is the only path forward for his party. His campaign warned in a fundraising email that replacing Biden with another Democrat would cause chaos and be, quote, a highway to losing.
Oh, wow.
Here with me now from Madison, Wisconsin, where he is campaigning for the president, a top Biden ally, Congressman Jim Clyburn of South Carolina. Thank you so much for joining me, sir. I want to just set the table with the fact that our viewers understand you are a very close confidant of President Biden. You played a critical role in helping him win the nomination 4 years ago. You say Democrats need to, quote, chill out. So are you saying you have absolutely no concerns about Joe Biden's ability not only to win in November, but to be the leader of the free world for the next 4 years?
Well, thank you very much for having me. I do not believe that Joe Biden has a problem leading for the next 4 years, because he's done a great job of leading for the last 3.5 years. I always say that the best predictor of future behavior is past performance. And when we look at the past performance of these two men that are the front runners in their parties, we get a lot of indication about what their future behavior would be. So
yeah, they both kill your. What anyway?
Joe Biden should continue to run on his record. I do believe that we will find him, when contrasted with the record of the 4 years of Trump, to be exactly what we need going forward, not just domestically, but internationally as well.
Exactly, because where is Trump 92 crime bill? You know what I'm saying? Trump said it wasn't tough enough, but where is his 92 crime bill, damn it? Anyway, sorry, my bad.
What about his performance on Thursday, though, sir? Do you
like,
understand why some Democrats, some independents who were not that interested in voting for Donald Trump and were considering voting for Joe Biden look at that and say, I just don't see it. I don't want to vote for him. What do you say to them?
I would say to them, take into account the record. Yes, it was a bad performance. I've been around these things. I've been a part of debate preparation before, and I know what when I see what I call preparation overload. And that's exactly what was going on the other night. I saw Joe Biden grabbing for words and phrases and even numbers that he was loaded up with. The next day, he gets to North Carolina. He's freewheeling.
So pretty much like, yeah, if you give him too much information, like we can't tell him everything that's going on. We can only tell him some things because he ain't gonna be able to respond properly. He's like, you're giving me too much. I studied too much. You know what I'm saying? So anytime you're telling your children to go study, they can always be like, yo, I can't take in too many numbers, because even the president can't take in too many numbers, you know. Like, God forbid if they had give them in the situation where they give them a lot of information, like, yo, we need you to hurry up and make this decision. It's based on this, you know, here's the calculations, you know what I'm saying? This is how many people it could affect. Oh, man.
And he captivated the audience. And that's what we should do. You know, the debate preparation can be tough, but you got to really do a good job of preparing the candidate, not just with information, but with style, with deflection, and the kinds of things that we did not see in Joe Biden the other night and saw it 4 years ago.
He's like, bring Obama back. Bring Obama in there to teach him some style. What's going on, bro? You know? Yes, and by the way, this was MD2's live earlier. Y'all listen to this, because I can't play this whole thing because he has good analysis, but I just wanted to play some parts he was playing.
I believe on.
I don't want to talk about this topic necessarily, so I'm just gonna, because I want to go to like some history thing. Because right now we just have too much information to where we can't have this conversation, because it'd be like, oh, well, what about this one? What about that one? What about them? You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of pointless right now, I would say. You know, so.
Friday in North Carolina, he had a teleprompter, but I want to ask about something
Yo, that was funny. I gotta play that because that was pretty funny. Not to laugh at anything she said, but that was pretty funny. It was like, yeah, he was going in North Carolina at the Waffle House
4 years ago.
I believe on Friday in North Carolina, he had a teleprompter, but I want to ask about something that you mentioned late last week, which is that you intended to have a conversation with the president. Did you talk to him? And if so, was there any discussion at all about him stepping aside?
I have not talked to the president since Friday. And if he asked my opinion, I will give it, as I always do. People on the floor, yes. There were some trepidations the next morning, registered for that conference. I did not find one single one of them who told me that they are not fully confident in Joe Biden. And that's just a fact. I've been hearing from people, even the people on the floor. Yes, there were some trepidations the next morning, but only one of the people I talked to expressed an opinion that Joe Biden should drop out. Everybody else says we need to make some calibrations here. Debate. I think it all depends upon what the rules are. I don't like the debate where nobody will do any faction in my mind. We cannot overload the candidate with all.
Hell
well,
no.
I don't know.
No, hell no.
I think
Don't do
that
that
Joe
no
Biden
more.
will do well with the debate. I think it all depends upon what the rules are. I don't like the debate where nobody will do any fact checking. You just say what you want to say. You know it's a lie. The guy told 30 some odd lies, and nobody checked him on it and said that.
Bro, that was the point of the other debater, like not the people in the middle. You know what I'm saying? The point of the other debater is to point out, oh, that's a damn lie when you said such and such. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't even. They was like, yeah, they're not debating for him, pretty much.
That was up to Joe Biden to do. I'm not too sure. If I ask you a question and you lie to me with the answer, I ought to follow up and give you what the facts are and see what your reaction to that will be. So that, to me, was not the way to plan the debate. Foolishness from two doctors, one of whom is serving in the Congress now and is being challenged with his performance while being a doctor in the White House. One of them called his prescription the candy store. No, at the break the other night. Joe Biden has a history of stuttering.
Oh yeah, that was funny. It was like he got Now the fool be stuttering.
It was right on display for us in that debate the other night. Joe Biden has a history of stuttering. He did that as a child. All of us know how stutterers operate. I went to school with one.
Yo, he was like, yo, Joe, they coming in. Yo, we gotta defend the Capitol. He could be like, sit. Yo, it's like that movie. Was it Harlem Nights? I forgot the one with Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy, and they had the boxer on there that be stuttering all the time. He's like, I'm gonna whoop your ass. He's like, yo, hurry up and put. By then, you already dead. You know what I'm saying?
So when you have trouble getting out a word,
Damn.
that is what comes from stuttering. But when he expressed opinions, he was on the money with the opinions. He may not have gotten the word out, but the thoughts were great.
You said on Friday, sir.
We might not have got the words out, but the thought. How would you know the words? How would you know the thoughts if the words didn't come out? That's what I want to know. But I don't know. That's a good question. Can there be a stuttering president? Is that allowed?
Quote,
Is that
I'm
a good
Biden
idea?
Harris person. I'm going to be for Biden if Harris ain't there, and I'm going to be for Harris if Biden ain't there. Does that mean that if, I know you don't think he should, but if the president did step aside, it should be
could be 19 and even 20 million people that
Okay.
Trump said on the debate stage about undocumented immigrants rather.
they're taking black jobs now, and it could be 18, it could be 19 and even 20 million people. They're taking black jobs and they're taking Hispanic jobs.
What's your reaction to that?
It's Joe Biden has been talking about this. He mentioned it the other night. Donald Trump is being Donald Trump. He has a very, very, very low opinion of people of color. Black,
People of
brown,
color.
whatever color. He has a low opinion of black people. He's demonstrated that all of his life. And I would like to hear from some of his black supporters why they will not have these discussions about what this man has done.
Probably the same reason you won't have him for the dude your dude has done. Probably the exact same reasons, man. Like, I don't understand how you don't get that part, but yeah, he sounds like a fool. That wasn't
to black women. What this man has done to young black youth, and what he has done to his own businesses when it comes to black people. I've talked to Reverend Sharp, and he told me he's been in and out of his businesses and never has seen a black person in any of them. How do you just give this man a pass?
Now, I know you probably have been to 100 or 200 Biden's businesses. Has you seen any black people in there? That's what I want to know.
All of that. Compare his hiring records to Joe Biden's hiring records, and then that ought to give you some indication of what it would be going forward.
Madness.
So what he said the other night about black jobs meant to me that there are certain jobs for black people and there are certain jobs for white people. There are certain jobs for white people and there are certain jobs for non-white people. And these people coming in will be taking those jobs that are for non-white people, never mind them being a threat to those jobs for the rest of us.
He's worse than Joe Biden.
Oh, wow. I understand what you're saying, NG2. Let me see what NG2 said. All right, you go to the next one. Black job, like, and this is the thing, you know, I think he, and of course, you know, Trump is no different, right? Because he was like, oh, the crime bill ain't hard enough, by the way, you know, but at the same time, right, I think it's like when one of my homies, you know, at a job I had, right, that brother worked, you know, can't show up to work every day, worked hard, you know what I'm saying, I did the extra thing. And I say this all the time to people, like, they get that stereotype about so-and-so work hard to the wrong people. It's really old black men that work so damn hard. I'd be like, what the hell are you doing? Like, stop, man. You, like, what are they giving you, gold or something? Like, they give you part of the company? Why the hell are you breaking your neck in here? Because it's really like older black men that really work hard, you know what I'm saying? But they give it to this brown community, you know what I'm saying? And what he's talking about is how even in the places where I've worked at, a brother would be coming to work all day, you know what I'm saying? Then they let him work all day, and then at the end, they fire him. And now, you know, that same job, it's so many his Spanish fools that work in there. Now they be like, oh, he from Colombia, he from this. I just, you know, to me, they all kind of Mexicans. Maybe that's me, but it is what it is. It's just none of my business, you know. I don't care. But like all of those jobs that brothers did have, like a lot of them got fired, and then they got all these people that can't even really speak like that. And from what I know, one of the times I had to work with them, they be lazy as hell. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing that people don't even realize, you know, which is a whole thing in itself. You know what I'm saying? There's one more part from this I wanted to play on my brother's one.
Debate last night between President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump.
The debate held.
Oh, it's smaller. So he lives right
now. First and new tonight, controversy over the heated debate last night between President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump.
The debate held right here in Atlanta touched on immigration. At one point, former President Trump warned immigrants were pouring into the country and taking Black and Hispanic jobs. Joe Ripley with our 11 Alive political team spoke with both the Black and Latino communities about what was said last night.
Especially this yellow one. It's my favorite.
Every flower in Yesenia Salazar's garden brings her peace.
The orange one is a snapdragon.
And grows for her family.
It started from my mother-in-law. She passed away 4 years ago.
Salazar immigrated from Mexico over 20 years ago and now has a family of 4. She thinks about the next 4 years and who will lead the U.S.
It provided thousands of millions of jobs for individuals who are involved.
Thousands of millions of jobs.
His big kill on the Black people is the millions of people that
said
is
on the
allowed
Black
to come
people
in through the border. They're taking Black jobs now, and it could be 18, it could be 19, and even 20 million people. They're taking Black jobs, and they're taking Hispanic jobs.
President Joe Biden and former...
By the way, yo, and he like does all the same stuff too, you know what I'm saying? Especially like with a lot more of the white immigrants, you know what I'm saying? You have probably more Vladimirs coming here with this fool anyway, you know? Because it's all the same thing, you know. They're all in the same, it's like theater, you know what I'm saying? You know.
President Donald Trump touched on immigration in a heated debate Thursday in Atlanta.
I think they're talking at Black America and not with Black America.
Georgia NAACP President Gerald Griggs says Trump should turn down the rhetoric.
To say that Black jobs are being taken, I want to know what Black jobs he's talking about.
Insanity.
Because Black people...
Insanity. What Black jobs are being taken? Like, yo, if you don't look around, like, consider talk about the construction jobs and all of them other jobs. Like, what I was just showing you with the Hispanic was like, oh yeah, I don't want to hire them because they know their damn rights. You know what I'm saying? And and they want to be paid, you know. And then they're like, well, you want to be paid, don't you? Well, yeah, I got bills to pay. I have kids, you know. Well, they have kids, so I can say that, you know. But he doesn't know what Black jobs are, you know what I'm saying? Let's be real, like both of them is like the Blacks, you know what I'm saying? That's what you want to say.
America.
Georgia NAACP President Gerald Griggs says Trump should turn down the rhetoric.
To say that Black jobs are being taken, I want to know what Black jobs he's talking about.
Insanity.
Because Black people are not a monolith. We have all kinds of jobs and all kinds of careers.
Griggs says while both Biden and Trump have contributed to success in the Black community, each one can do more.
Great concern.
More Vladimir.
Feeling that the top candidate right now is the couch.
Honestly, I don't think they get here to get our jobs. Because we all have opportunities in one way or another to get a job.
Back in her peaceful place, Yesenia Salazar just wants a better future for herself and her family.
For anything, never give up. Never give up on your dreams. Never give up on your garden.
Well, a recent Pew Research poll showed President Biden currently leading the polls among Black voters. But Pew also points to Latinos being the biggest voting bloc this year.
Now, consider, what did he say? This is why America is doomed, right? Not just because of African Americans.
Well, a recent Pew Research poll showed President Biden currently leading the polls among Black voters. But Pew also points to Latinos being the biggest voting bloc this year. Around 36 million will be eligible to vote this year. We'll be watching how the candidates work to earn minority voter support, especially in a battleground state like Georgia.
Oh, man. And she's cute. That sister's cute. Brother Guy, you know, it's always
all right. So yeah, and y'all subscribe to my brother MD2, because you know he definitely gives great commentary, you know. But okay, so we're gonna go into this, you know, because I didn't even actually watch that whole debate thing. And to be honest with you, I ain't watched none of it. I see people talking about it so much that I know like what happened, like because it's good. Like I said, it's a positive thing that there is more you know, people aware of whatever. But I wanted to play this one part because it was pretty funny.
Black people say, hey. So anyway, she sat down with interviewed by that I don't know if you asked him what advice she has for leaders. And this
What? Because we ain't never finished it last time too. You know, what advice did this chick have for Black leaders?
For leaders, and this is what she said. Check it out.
And don't ever hear it when somebody says to you, oh, nobody like you has done that before. Oh, it's not your time. Oh, you're too young. Oh, and then this is one I love. Oh, it's going to be hard work. Don't you ever listen to that. I like to say, I eat no for breakfast.
That's right.
I don't hear no. And don't you either.
So as you heard her say, you know, people are going to tell you it's too hard and you can't do this and that, this, that, and the other. She says, I eat no's for breakfast, so never let anybody tell you no. And you know what? I'm going to take her advice because y'all remember when she said this?
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No, no, no.
Oh, wow. Now, I want to show you this right now because, like you said, Cassandra, every time it bites them in the handpots, you know, and that's fine. They can do what they want. That's their political mathematics, right? They threw the numbers at him. You know what I'm saying? He was stuttering, but came to the decision that, oh, it's not just America is doomed, not just because of African Americans, right? And so they threw him the numbers. I guess they took time that time to give him the numbers. But it's a whole lot of stuff that is kind of interesting that I see going on, right? And like I said, I don't want to talk about a lot of that because I was going to talk about this like before, but I was like, man, like people are so caught up on all of this political stuff that we can't even have a conversation that's like right about it. But anyway, I wanted to play this part right.
Well, it got down and dirty then. Joining us right now is Congressman Jamal Bowman, who represents parts of the Bronx and Westchester County, which is the 16th Congressional District. And we should say we're going to have George Latimer on tomorrow. You join us today. We appreciate you doing this.
Of course.
You know what? Not just the clip right there. I mean, this thing has gotten nasty. You can't turn on the TV without seeing an ad mostly against you.
Yeah.
But, you know, this campaign is most expensive in U.S. history, right?
Most expensive primary in U.S. history. Most of the money is coming from MAGA Republican billionaires. Of course, you know, discrediting my name and the service that I provided. But we're very proud of what we've done. We've brought over $1 billion back to the district to focus on reducing gun violence, affordable housing, affordable childcare, workforce development, substance abuse, mental health challenges, healthcare. So we brought back the resources to help.
I ain't say, man, oh yeah. And we made sure, as me being an African American, right, to keep that in mind, right? Me being an African American, this is what I fight for, right? Because this is what I'll be like, yo, political mathematics, because we're going to have to throw the numbers if you're going to want, before we even have this conversation, right? If you ain't even funding your own representatives, then what is the point of the conversation, right? This lesser to is kind of irrelevant at this point. And now it's just like wasting your breath for a little while. But I'm just still want to play this, you know.
help the community, and we're pushing aspirational legislation because we need to come together as a country to save our democracy. And so we're proud of our work. We think
we gotta save our freaking democracy, y'all. Lord have mercy. And by the way, didn't there like Democrats pass like a bill that you can't like criticize the shysters, the Jews? I just like saying I'd rather say the shysters, but didn't they pass a law that say you can't call shysters or something like that?
Because we need to come together as a country to save our democracy. And so we're proud of our work. We think the people know that, and we look forward to winning on Tuesday.
You say that, but the issue is this has become really about two issues. It's the Israel-Hamas war, and really the fracture in the Democratic Party between the progressive wing and the moderates.
Okay.
And right now,
so this ain't got nothing to do with us. So luckily, this ain't got nothing to do with us, y'all.
You're not connecting with your voters.
Yeah, I don't know
We ain't gotta
who they're
listen to none of
polling,
this.
but you know, one crosstab of that poll states that the majority of the district are aligned with my opponent on Israel-Gaza, and we know that's absolutely.
I hope democracy gets destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Whatever they call it. I don't know what democracy is. You know, but whatever
Absolutely
it
not
is.
true. 69% of the district support a permanent ceasefire. We have called for a permanent ceasefire very early on because we want peace. We want the release of the hostages, and we want humanitarian aid to get in because famine is setting in. 21,000
peace and
person's going to win over the other. Come out and vote. Exercise your right to vote. Vote for Jamal.
No, I didn't hear anything about Negroes here. So.
that concerns people. Did you
So okay.
question?
I'm sure he got the Arab Palestine vote up there in New York. I'm sure he got that vote locked up. Okay, I got you.
Whether women were raped back on October 7th and children beheaded?
Netanyahu in particular have a rep for
Now, recently, he said this about you. As for Jamal Bowman, I care as much about his opinion on me as I do about his opinion on how to properly pull a fire alarm. That was low blow. Or his opinion on how to remain.
A big fight against more money in politics than has ever been spent in any primary. So I'm here. No, I am fighting a big fight against more money in politics than has ever been spent in any primary. So I'm here running my race against big money. In terms of Mr. Torres, I don't tweet about him. I rarely talk about him. I was asked a question, I answered it. No one's thinking about Richie Torres. I'm thinking about my constituents. I'm thinking about the needs of my things that they care about. So I'm on the ground in my community. I have been for 3 years and will continue to govern.
One of my like homies, like one of my like former like roommates back in the day. He was from White Plains, New York. His district here. You know what I'm saying? And I know that I at least know like that's a black neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Up in like White Plains and stuff.
With the working class people in my district.
One of the things is she mentioned Richie Torres, and I know when you don't get endorsements, or endorsements aren't a big deal. When you do get them, they are. You've got Richie Torres who's just come out against you. You've got Hillary Clinton who's endorsed George Latimer. You've got Mondaire have seen you serve 2 terms and are coming out part of the establishment who know you and your work are saying he doesn't deserve to come back.
We're endorsed by Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. We're endorsed by Whip Catherine Clark.
So he got the minority. So he got white bitches, the gay vote. He got what else? The brown vote, the Asians, all of the people. He got all of the minority vote. So I'm sure he'll be just fine.
Endorsed by Chairman Pete Aguilar. We're endorsed by Senator Bernie Sanders. We're endorsed by Senator Elizabeth Warren. We're endorsed and the whole squad. And we're endorsed by many local elected officials like Mayor Armacost from Hastings-on-the-Hudson and others. We're also endorsed by 1199 and major nurses and teacher unions as well. And so
see now. This is.
I thank you all so much for all the love.
Bad. Now this young brother, this is part of he a young brother, so I can't really, and he might not understand like the politics, so I ain't even gonna get into a whole nother part of it. But yeah, they must have forgot to show up to the polls that day.
Latimer, a centrist, damn near conservative, supported by Republicans, backed by AIPAC adjacent organizations. Yeah, the thing that irritates.
Now, see, this is what pisses me off the most. These anti-racists, you know what I'm saying, fools that sit here and say all of this stuff, you know, like this whole, like, because if I was on here, it'd be like, oh, we're like, I have to lecture them and let me educate you, white person, about who you are, you know what I'm saying? Because we don't have no political education our damn self, but we want to educate everybody on racism, but you don't know a damn thing about it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be sitting here like, why would I lose a race? You know, he's fighting for people of color.
My soul is that George Latimer won off the strength of misinformation. The reason why not voting is a perspective I can understand, but I am so vehemently opposed to, is because this is how this shit works. And they'll explain it to you in 5th grade if you pay attention. When I was in middle school up until like,
yeah, they also tell you Christopher Columbus discovered America in 5th grade too. And it doesn't make it right, does it? You know,
like early high school, I would play this game called Race to the White House. Basically, you like flew from state to state, clicked on little stuff to like try to persuade the state to come towards your party's color or whatever. And
so you telling me, giving all of these, we in New York, all of these immigrants money and fighting for Palestinians, you know what I'm saying? That didn't convince all of them to go do it, because he ain't have nothing to do with us, obviously, right? They like, am I going to do something for just Negroes? No, it's people of color. So I'm sure people of color, you should be talking to them, I guess.
And get as many electoral votes as possible,
doing.
just
Maybe
like an
I'm
election.
wrong.
You could choose different things that you wanted to do, and it would sway the public in a certain amount. You could select an issue, do like a negative ad, and then be like different things that if you only pay attention to an election every so often, and every time you look at it, it's this candidate said this bad thing. Oh my God, would you believe this candidate supports this? You're automatically going to associate that candidate with negative things, subconsciously or not. So when George Latimer, a candidate literally funded by AIPAC and AIPAC adjacent organizations, whose whole goal has been to knock off candidates who've been supporting a ceasefire, says that Jamal Bowman has taken money from Hamas. And
see, this is the interesting thing, though. You know what I'm saying? There you see an example of a community putting their resources together, right? To, if they feel like, because it can, if that's what the route you want to take, it ain't going to work until you have your working together and putting your resources in together. You know what I'm saying? To put forth your candidate, if that's the route you want to take. Right now, I don't necessarily agree, because I don't think you can ever be an American. I'm gonna just be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? If you want the land, then you're gonna have to take it, in my opinion. But if this is the political conversation, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all kind of stupid, because none of it is relative to us, you know what I'm saying? But there you see groups of shysters. Now they get money from all types of stuff where they can do this stuff. So that's why I don't like comparing it, you know what I'm saying? But yes, you can put your resources together, because it don't matter individual. But as Black people, we be like, oh yeah, I'm an individual. I'm not like I separate myself from them over there. You know what I'm saying? That's why, like, you see the brothers, like, because that's why I never understood like how like the people from the Democrats or the people from the Republicans knowing damn well, they know damn well they cloned out, they being clones. They know damn well, but they like, well, it doesn't matter, because I'm going to get this check and I can take care of me and my family, and me and mine is good, with that same individual mindset. You know what I'm saying? That'd be my problem with that individualized thing. But anyway.
Then when a constituent asks for proof, the proof is a link to a far-right news website.
All right, we get it. We get it.
Jamal Bowman, Hamas, and they're going to negatively associate the two. And then when all is said and done and you win the election this way, I go on the internet and you tell me that, oh, he lost really because he strayed too far to the left, as if there was not a concerted propagandistic effort to get Jamal Bowman out of there because he's been vocally against the occupation of Gaza. And
well, I mean, it sounds like all of the damn Arabs in New York should have, in his area in New York, should have voted for his ass then, right? You know, All right, let me get up off of this one, because, and I'm not gonna play this one because, like, yeah, black voters, because Mark Lamont Hill isn't necessarily qualified because he's talking about Democratic Socialist of America. Now, what that means is people of color as black and brown and all of that nonsense, and they're questioning him why he supported whatever he supported, like that Iron Dome thing in Israel. They say, why did you support that as a damn Democrat? Because it really doesn't matter, Republican or Democrat, they all did, you know what I'm saying? And so he's mad, not even because he probably agrees with the, oh yeah, give the migrants this, give the Palestinians this, you know, but it don't have a damn thing to do with black people, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, they trying to make it, yeah. And the thing is, I know that he thinks that he is quote unquote woke, you know what I'm saying? But that's one of those symptoms of having so much information where you can't be told something, but not enough information to know that you don't know what the hell you're talking about, right? He don't got the political mathematics yet, you know what I'm saying? He only got half the math, you know what I'm saying? It's like algebra or something like that, you know? Yeah, what's going on, Blanca? So we're not gonna even let him talk about that, but they're trying to blame it on, like, well, you know, the Jews, the Shysters spent all of this money to get him out, but as you know, Cassandra was just saying, you know, the Arabs and the people of color and the Hispanic and the immigrants must have forgot to show up to vote, you know, because obviously this has nothing to do with us, right? So I don't even know why that has anything to do with us, right? Now, what's funny, because I had to play this part, y'all.
Operating here.
Because it's not just I had to play the other side just because it was one side, because like I do see a lot more Negroes talking about like the other side, like there's something different, you know what I'm saying? Like they're like, oh yeah, well, I like the, you know, anyway.
We gonna let them know how strong. The power of the South Bronx. People ask me why I got a foul mouth. What am I supposed to do? You coming after me? I'm not supposed
to. It's like they
all. Back?
It's like they all be like caricatures of black people though. Like, no offense to them, you know what I'm saying? But they be like it's like a caricature, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm the black man who's been told I'm the angry black man and I don't give a damn type stuff, you know what I'm saying? And then later they turn out to be like, what's the dude who was crying on CNN? Van Jones. They turn out to be like him, you know what I'm saying? Oh, ain't angry of when though, you know what I'm saying? A grape in the food fight, you know, whatever the saying is.
Show them who the we are.
Well, that is a sitting United States congressman, and that is certainly not a sign of confidence coming from Jamal Bowman, who is fighting for his political life. He's in serious danger.
So, Lord have mercy. You see the white girl in the back, don't know what the hell going on, but rocking the sign.
Vivek Ramaswamy was way better,
Tell
but
the white
keep
girl
trying,
right here
Jamal
to
Bowman.
say one of
He's not only relying
lyric.
on his rapping abilities, he's brought in top squad member AOC to carry him across the finish line.
Squad member? What is this nonsense? That's what y'all be doing at Black and Brown cookouts? Is this what be going on? Damn, I'm glad I got kicked out the cookout. This what be going on over there with y'all?
Congress. And Richie Torres came out and said this about Jamal Bowman. He wrote this on X.
Got anything to say about
People
anybody?
I know and represent in the South.
Their minds because they are losing their voters. Without any question, his behavior is unbecoming for any member of Congress. That goes without question. Here's the bigger point. This is Joe Biden's Democratic Party. What we're seeing operating here today is absolute insanity. It has a stench that comes from their anti-Semitic views. They are reinforcing every single day how much they want.
So both of them be talking that anti-Semitic nonsense. What the world? It doesn't really matter, I guess. What the world? This
Hold on to power at the expense of people. How they would rather divide the American people because they believe, I honestly believe, Kaylee, they believe that a divided America allows them to gain more power. And with more power.
All right. Because I don't know what the hell he's talking about. You know, this dude fool is kind of
Chosen
retarded.
as the vice president, you would be the first Black Republican.
No, he's trying to be vice president. That's why he even on there, you know. It's like he'll be the first Black person. So there still hasn't been a Black person yet. And by the way, I'm not gonna go there yet, you know.
Chosen as the vice president, you would be the first Black.
Yeah, that was Biden's group. I know it get confusing because they all pretty much the same. That was Biden and new group. That was the squad, or what is that? Whatever the hell they call themselves. But they are the caricature of Black people. This is the other side here. This is what happened when we go to the views from the other plantation, the Republican plantation, you know. And these idiot, you know, crackers, if that's what you want to call them, or whatever you call them, you know what I'm saying? Neanderthals or whatever, you know, that's their politics, you know. They're all white nationalists at the end of the day. It's about how we are going to run this nation and maintain a white nation, right? And it's still all fall in line and go look up the John Brown complex if you don't understand all of it. But they use it to keep them fools divided, you know what I'm saying, in their own stuff, where they offer them actual protections and stuff like that. And so they don't want to destroy. They're all white nationalists, you know, so.
Chosen as the vice president, you would be the first Black Republican VP on the ticket. How do you feel?
I think it's exciting, no matter the outcome. It's the evolution of the Southern heart that we see on display. And we Southerners get so little credit for the progress we've made. The whole notion of judging a person on the content of their character, not the color of their skin, has happened.
Psst. I see dead people.
Oh man, I wish I had I don't know, I ain't got the right one.
Chosen as the vice president, you would be the first Black Republican VP on the ticket. How do you feel?
I think it's exciting, no matter the outcome. It's the evolution of the Southern heart that we see on display. Black Democrat. And we Southerners get so little.
Y'all want to see the Southern love on display? Check this out, right? Now I had to bring up. Listen, look at this fool here. You know.
Let's get started.
I had to play this one. I don't like playing other people's stuff.
Fox and Friends is profiling his top contenders and the people who know them best.
So we sat down with Senator Tim Scott and his fiancee Mindy at their church in South Carolina. Take a look. Mindy, thank you so much for sitting down with us. Y'all kept your relationship quiet for a long time. And then next thing we know, you proposed in
January 20th, yeah.
Okay, Kiowa Island.
Kiowa Island.
Well, it was one of the coldest days in January this year. I got out there and it was a beautiful Kiowa sunset.
Lord
and,
have mercy.
it was very cold. I had my gloves on.
Yeah, does her nose have a hook in it? I can't tell. Y'all know better than me, but it looked like her nose had a hook in it.
It was very cold. I had my gloves on, and he told me to take my gloves off. I said, no, I'm going to keep them on. It's chilly.
So we're walking up
Until you saw the ring.
Yes.
Until I saw him get on his knee. I was like, okay.
Going down to my
Like, what
knee.
is your goofy ass doing?
Oops.
Powered by DeVry.
Carolina. Take a look. Mindy, thank you so much for sitting down with us. Y'all kept your relationship quiet for a long time. And then next thing we know, you proposed in
January 20th, yeah.
Okay, Kiowa Island.
Kiowa Island.
Well, it was one of the coldest days in January this year.
To my knee.
Aviation.
Damn, my bad.
Up on a pickleball date. We talked on the phone for about an hour and a half, our first phone call. And, we talked about our families, our faith. And we actually decided to do a Bible study that day together. And I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. It's just like heaven sent.
How did you know?
They did are you sure that's okay? They did a Bible study the first day you met him. You did a Bible study. You were freaking harlot, whatever the word for whore is in the Bible.
Oh, he was the one.
How did you know?
Honestly, God comes in and he gives you signs and he
pay you
just
a bag
shows
of
you,
money.
He shows you the path.
Did you ever think you'd meet your wife here?
No,
It's
I mean,
so
I've been
nice.
friends for years and years and years. And then the first conversation, she laughed. I was like, I love her a lot.
Mm-hmm.
She understands devotion to country. She loves the Lord. We go to the same church. And Lord,
after the election,
to the country. It's a pretty good deal.
What was your response when on the View, those ladies, when they suggested that you got engaged just so you could be a vice presidential candidate?
Yeah, they're just ridiculous. Period. Honestly, it's not just the comments that they make about me. They get paid to tear people down.
How do you handle criticism when you hear someone say something negative about him or upset that he is a black man and he is not a Democrat? How does that affect you?
He is a black man. Is he a black man? He's certainly not a Democrat, but is he a damn black man? That's a good
Refocus
question.
and not stay there. And I go to prayer.
So with the debate, Joe Biden's hunkering down, Donald Trump's having all these rallies. Have you been helping him?
One of the things I think
and just loving on him. I think that's my role.
I know you have a thriving
I
business
don't
here.
AK pretty much she was like, yeah, I don't do nothing to help him. She was like, what you do to help him? Pretty much nothing.
I get up every day and I just love what I do. Wherever Tim and I land, I think we're going to both put our personal touches on whatever home that is.
What about your platform? Have you thought about that?
Well, look, my father was Navy pilot, and my brothers all went to military college, and
You're probably rolling over in this grave right now. You're rolling over in hell right now, like, oh, you damn N-word. My daughter's an N-word lover.
Platform. Have you thought about that?
Well, look, my father was Navy pilot, and my brothers all went to military college.
What's going on, Kofi?
Just instilled,
We just finished talking
foundation,
about,
American values, and faith and family and tradition. I mean, Navy wives don't get the credit that they deserve because it's country.
Damn.
Brought together by pickleball.
Your favorite sport.
All right. So I guess that's where you go to meet white girls at, is the pickleball place, you want to see him in the future, y'all. This is your boy in the future.
By Ginny Thomas, wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, who should not have replaced Thurgood Marshall.
Thurgood Marshall was mixed race, you know what I'm saying? Don't get me started. I'm not gonna go in. There's a reason why it went from Thurgood Marshall to Clarence Thomas, because they are the same.
Has sparked a social media firestorm. Her remarks on abortion and affirmative action to the Post raised concerns about influencing her husband's judicial opinions. 33-year-old article titled "The Nominee's Soulmate" reveals Ginny Thomas's staunch conservative views, prompting renewed scrutiny and calls for transparency.
All right, let me see.
Additionally, fresh allegations of racism have resurfaced, with social media outrage over insensitive remarks by Ginny Thomas's relatives.
I'm just trying to play the parlay. Tim Scott Future.
I can guarantee you I was surprised when I found out she was going with a black man. Jenny Thomas's uncle Ralph Knopp said from his Iowa farmhouse, according to the Post, it was unusual for us. Jenny's aunt Opal chimed in next, saying, but he was so nice, we forgot he was black.
So maybe that's what Tim Scott, this girl, or whatever you call it, is going to say. You know what? I want to play this one, right? Just because it ain't got nothing to do with nothing. But
oh my God, these Hotep niggas with the daddy of black, the seed black, the daddy of what, the seed is what, like
the Republican Van Jones.
The daddy of what, the seed is what, like, yo, y'all be so pro-black, but you're never pro-black enough to have black children with a black woman, though. No, instead you have non-black children with a non-black woman, and then you make up all these crazy rules. Well, I'm still pro-black because if the daddy black, we didn't see the black. I had a black kid, even though I ain't had a kid with a black woman, even though the kid ain't black, the seed black, so the kid. Nigga, shut up. And this is my thing. Look, you did what you wanted to do. You had your family. You married who you wanted to if you did that, because half of y'all not even doing that. But you had children with what you wanted to, good for you. Have fun, right? But why are you sitting here making up these fake ass rules to pretend that you still created a black family when you know good and well that you did not? I'm confused on who you think you fooling, and I'm confused on who you're lying to. I can't stand when people lie to me, because it's like, you're not lying to me because I don't believe you. You're lying to yourself. So tell yourself that dumb shit, but stop.
All right. He said, it means he's not a threat. In other words, he did a lot of bootlicking. Yeah, they was like, oh, he's not like one of them, But yo, back to that, back to what we was talking about. That was a side story, you know what I'm saying? That was just for my good brother here. Now I don't know if y'all saw this one here. Because we go on both sides here, because we already saw this part,
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
All right. So, we talked about one side, and we'll talk about the other side,
And Trump. Dr. King said at the tail end of his life, he said, we're going to Washington to get our check. You understand? So now, what is your position on reparations?
He said, now the older gentleman said, he's talking to that guy, Byron Donalds. Remember, we did that thing about history with Joy Reid, and Byron Donalds was like, yo, Jim Crow and all of that stuff. And then, what she said about black men and stuff like that. Now, that's who the older brother is asking about reparations. He was like, how do you feel about reparations?
Thank you. Great question. Thank you. We can all be quiet and let them answer. Thank you. Thank you.
And I think that's that mixed girl Sage Steele that I showed before too. I think that's Sage Steele right there, and all her anti-black stuff.
Great question. Thank you. We can all be quiet and let them answer. Thank you. Thank you.
I'll be direct. First of all, I'll be direct with you. I'll be. We don't want to hear Jim Crow stuff. Listen, I'll be direct with you. I don't believe in reparations. I don't. Well, then you don't believe in the black community. I will tell you, brother in the hat with the glasses on, that's not true. What I will tell you is that there's a question if you're going to get into the full economics of reparations right now. Question number one, of all black people in the country, how many of them are actually descendants of slaves? Because you've had a lot of immigration over the last 100 years in America. Of American slavery. There was slavery in the Caribbean. The one brother came up, he said that he's first.
It sound familiar. Now, I didn't know that they was repeating Republican people's talking point. It does sound familiar.
Generation, the brother in the Kango, because his parents came from Jamaica. My grandmother is from Jamaica, so my grandmother's Jamaican. I know exactly what you're talking about. My mother was born in the United States. I'm born in the United States. So this is a fundamental question. You a black man, I'm a black man. Am I eligible for reparations right now? I would say the answer is no, I'm not. Because my family is from Jamaica. My father's Panamanian. His grandparents were born in Panama. My father immigrated to the United States. So does that make me eligible? So you got to go through all of that.
So he immediately answered the question. He was like, we got to go through all of that, and then immediately answered the question. Immediately answered the question. Right? And so I don't know what all of that is.
Step one. Step number two. Slavery under federal law was ended in 1865. The Jim Crow era ended, obviously, with the 64 Civil Rights Act, the 65 Voting Rights, etc. The fundamental question is, you've now had 3 generations of black people come up in the United States. As a black kid today, does he get reparations? Third question.
Absolutely,
hold on now.
And now what's funny is because he said the ending of Jim Crow was the problem. Because if you would ask him, is there racism and all of that stuff? Because the people would be like, there's no racism today. If you ask Tim Scott, our Democrat, he's kind of too stupid, so he wouldn't catch on, you know what I'm saying? But if you ask him, aren't the Democrats racist against black people? They will say, yes, absolutely. Don't they have racist policies against black people? Absolutely. So there is racism against black people being practiced today, right? And then they would be like, no, doesn't make sense, right? But here is him just saying, right, how we got ruined after Jim Crow. Now he's saying, well, does the people after Jim Crow get qualified? Well, according to you, you just finished saying like 2 weeks ago, right, that those people got screwed over by racism from the Democrats, right? So, but now that's the reason why not, though, I guess. Anyway.
Third question. You got a lot of other people in the United States.
Yo, Blanca, you missed the beginning, right? This will make a lot more sense if you watch this. Everything that you have watched today, if you go back and watch like when we was talking about the Democrat part and the Republican part and all the Negroes that defend either side, this will make a lot more sense if you know this. If it plays, I probably shouldn't have did that, but let me see.
Have a look. I'm a white person trapped in a black skin. I've never dated black people. I'm not black enough for the black culture, but I'm not white enough for the white culture. But that's not my fault. I don't see myself as black.
What do you see yourself as?
I'm a white person. It's weird. I know I sound like
no, and it's this is the of, but you say white, is that because there's nothing?
Because it's difficult because I don't identify as being black. Also, like I was brought up white, so I couldn't learn how to be black. So now, from the beginning, I was raised white.
So, if you want to know the behavior of a lot of Negroes, right?
Asians, are they responsible for the cost of the slave trade? No, because
the
fundamental question is, you've now had 3 generations of black people come up in the United States. As a black kid today, does he get reparations?
Well, you said after Jim Crow, right? We need to go back because that's when we had our families, because we've been targeted since then. So they probably deserve their own bearing the reparations. There was the crack epidemic. You know that privatized prisons like really became a thing in the 80s. Like it became like a law passed in the 80s, right at the beginning of the crack epidemic, right? Yeah, that whole era since then. So that's just the last generation, right? So.
Third question. Hold on now. Third question. You got a lot of other people in the United States, Asians.
Yo, they say it's, but I feel what you're saying, Anthony, when they be like he using FBA talking, but I've heard anti-FBA people use a lot of these talking points because it's the same thing. Because as long as they get us arguing amongst each other, like this is what I'm like that's why I try to stay out of a lot of conversations because we know just enough, and I'm including myself because y'all probably know more than I do, So I'm talking about myself then, but we know a little bit too much to, be able to be told anything. But a lot of stuff he say comes from the people who are going against like FBA and against reparations, like what y'all gonna do with it and who qualifies and stuff like that. You hear a lot of the people against FBA people saying that kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't realize that they're also engaging in a form of anti-blackness, just like the other side is. It's just no different than saying you're on the left or the right. It's just a different form of it, you know what I'm saying? Where you're still engaging in like, listen, a lot of those talking points come from there, you know what I'm saying? And then the softening and justifying of even slavery, you know what I'm saying, in a lot of these conversations, when that's not even the conversation, like only conversation. But at the same time, nobody is willing to have if none of that is the answer, are you willing to do the only true answer? And most people are not. So I don't even know why they make these arguments, you know what I'm saying? Because I get it, people have families and stuff like that they care about, but you better hope it don't happen to you and your family,
Are they responsible for the cost of the slave trade? No, because they're of Asian descent, people of Indian descent, people who are Hispanic in the United States, the largest growing population in the United States, and of course the dominant population is still the white population. But even in that, it's not just Southern whites that were plantation owners from their grandfathers. So if you
right, yeah, it was the Northern that was slave owners, it was institutions, you know what I'm saying, that was built off of it. But he's right, he got a point, right? Because they have nothing, just like I don't have nothing to do with what's going on in their country if they're like leaving Mexico or whatever, right? So keep my goddamn money out of their pockets. How about that? Fine, all right? We're gonna use that logic, right? The Asian people got all of those business loans, I don't know if people had asked them back then what because y'all tell me what they did. Y'all love to ask like, what are you gonna do with the money? Tell me what they said they was gonna do with their money. But all I'm saying is like, even with that, like, what does the Asians think about it? What did you ask what I think about them getting loans to put stores within our communities on purpose? You know what I'm saying? After all of this 1969 stuff, you know what I'm saying, where they also passed the Immigration Act into. Anyway,
we're going to talk about reparations today. What you're talking about is taking money from other Americans, which quite rightly the pain and the toil that did happen in America through slavery, through Jim Crow, but now you're asking Americans today and in the future to pay that bill. Is it that bill? Is it their bill, Americans today, to pay?
Yes.
I'll ask you a slightly different question. It's
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
reparations. It's about Joe Biden's student loan bailout. And I'm not going off, but it's a comparison point. 2/3 of the American people did not go to college. Is it okay for Joe Biden to say, well, we're going to give student loans, even though 2/3 did not go to college? It is now the debt burden of the 2/3 of the American people that did not go.
Definitely, my brother.
People may not like that, but that's the reality. And brother, I want to be.
He said, "Oh, it's just like the student thing. When he offered that, it don't apply to you. Neither do freaking whatever the hell." Anyway, that's kind of a dumb comparison in itself, to say, well, just like the student loan thing don't apply. Well, first of all, yeah, they claim that we're going to do that, but they didn't, you know what I'm saying? But nobody's even saying that they shouldn't. But what they're saying is it doesn't apply to us in the first place, which is probably why they're asking you about the same question they would ask him. But it doesn't matter until we put up our own damn candidate anyway. So all of this is a waste of time, which is why I didn't even want to talk about it, because I see a lot of people talking about this stuff lately. Yeah, a lot of people, hell, just even when they get, certain grants, loans, and other things, not to mention like how other groups literally do get, forms of compensations for stuff. You know, they just got then they get like reparations when they was putting a damn badass, you know, killer ass kids in cages and stuff like that. And now we black people was fighting black and brown, you know. I remember that, you know. And then now come to find out all these time later, now they jumping black kids at a party, killing them, you know what I'm saying? But you know what, y'all? I didn't want to talk about it, and I'm not going to talk about it. I really wanted to talk about history, you know, and I'm not going to, unless y'all, you know what? Let me see. I guess I'll just show y'all some stuff because I wanted to talk about certain things, but I ain't gonna get another chance. But if y'all want to say something about what I was talking about, then you can definitely come on here. But this was supposed to be a whole nother conversation too, because I wanted to play these brothers here. But the reason why I never played George Jackson or really talk about him as much is because he be on that people of color stuff, you know what I'm saying, which is a whole thing. And this was the beginning of Angela Davis, you know, when people say, oh yeah, she's a militant, but I know a lot of people look at her like whatever. But this is when she first came on there and how this brother was talking about revolution for real, you know.
Jackson apparently led the attempted escape using a gun somehow smuggled to him inside the prison. It all lasted not much more than 30 seconds. 3 white guards and 2 white inmates were killed, their throats slit. 3 other guards were wounded. Then Jackson came running out of the maximum security cell block, and he was...
Now, I want to tell you, because I wanted to tell you about, and I guess I'll just give you a brief kind of thing, because I'm not going to read it or nothing like that. Now, this brother, Jonathan Jackson, right? Nobody really talks about his brother, right? Now, George Jackson was in prison for, you know, whatever, you know, robbery when he didn't know any better, you know. And then when he was in prison, he became educated, began to read, and understand psychology of revolution. But he also read a lot of those people of color kind of mentality stuff, like with the Marxism and all that stuff. Now they still use words like communist and all that stuff to this day, but anyway. Now his younger brother, Jonathan, was trying to get him out of prison. And of course, these brothers became a target of the government because they was like, you know, a part of revolutionary groups and stuff like that. And his brother went to break him out of jail, right? And so he went into a courtroom and took a bunch of hostages, and but they got killed, you know. And this brother here, he was like, listen, man, I love my brother probably more than I love myself. But for the revolution, and I'm gonna say for black people, I would give my brother's life just as fast as I would give my own. You know what I'm saying? When they asked him how they felt about his brother being killed or whatever, you know. And so then after that, this brother, they said he got a bunch of guns into the jail, right? And got everybody to start a revolution. And now they charged Angela Davis and all that for this because they was like the guns was registered to her, you know. But I don't know what happened to Angela Davis today, but anyway.
Cut down by another guard firing from some distance. It was the worst violence in the history of this prison, and only the latest in a long series of killings involving and related to what are known as the Soledad Brothers, a group of 3 black inmates originally held at Soledad Prison. A guard was killed there, and a second guard killed here at San...
He said, a young girl from Africa working in Palestine recorded her boss abusing her. So I said, F Palestine. Yeah, I mean... Listen, black people tell you about how they're treated all over the world. And they often, other groups be like, yo, why haven't black people retaliated or responded? And that's a good question, you know.
San Quentin earlier this summer. That was the first guard killed at San Quentin in 19 years. The victim was, at the time, guarding an inmate who was a key witness in the first Soledad brothers case. Jackson was called a dilettante revolutionary, a murderer by the warden. 2 other Soledad brothers were also involved in yesterday's attempted escape. And so was Rochelle McGee, who, along with Angela Davis, is charged with murder and kidnapping in the Marin County Courthouse shootout last year. At the Marin Civic Center, Jackson's younger brother was killed by officers after he allegedly smuggled guns into the courtroom. The bodies of the slain guards and the white inmates indicated they were slashed across the throat and...
By the way, they ended up taking out 3 white bitches and the judge. They tied a shotgun around the judge's neck and they held him as hostage. But the police ain't give a damn. The police rolled up and shooting at him. They ain't give a damn. They was hitting like a bunch of like, you know, Neanderthals too. But like, so like, I think only one of the white ones survived. Like, but yeah, they took their ass hostage.
All but one body was found in Jackson's own cell. The weapon, a toothbrush with a razor blade attached, was identified today. Weapons like that are often found in prison shakedowns. The extraordinary breach of prison security was how Jackson got his revolver. This is a maximum security prison. The warden's investigators suspect a male visitor who saw Jackson early yesterday somehow concealed the weapon and passed it to Jackson. At a press conference this afternoon, prison officials talked about black militancy at San Quentin.
This is a copy of Right On, whatever that might be. It has a picture of the Black Panther, so I assume it belongs to the Black Panther Party. Under State Law 2600, we are required...
Yeah, I already know you know my brother. I already know my brother Anthony.
CBS News, San Quentin
Studies Program, a key issue in California's student revolt. As the peaceful meeting ended, gunfire broke out. And 2 students, both...
But they like to be like, black people was all peaceful, and we was like, but nah, like, black people...
Key issue in California's student revolt.
This is 1970, black people still ended, shooting back.
Gunfire broke out, you know? And 2 students, both Los Angeles leaders of the Black Panther Party, fell dead. They were contenders for the leadership of the Black Student Union with a rival black nationalist organization. One of the victims, John Huggins, expressed his fear of persecution in this interview with KNXT a month before he was shot in the back.
We find ourselves constantly under attack by the press, by the mass media, by the police departments, and by your existing politicians, because they consider us as a threat to them, as a political threat to them.
And see, like, and when he's talking about all of the people that he named who is a threat is still a threat to this day, especially, well, not just especially all of them, but including the politicians, right? And also the black people who come in the name, like that girl earlier, right? Who said, I don't identify as black, I'm white, you know. Those who, they also are the people you got to worry about, you know. Because it's still the same thing.
As a threat to them, as a political threat to them. And therefore they attack us politically, and they attack us with guns because they understand that political power comes from the barrel of a gun.
White fires are hard workers. What do you We're well aware that some people are not getting a good shake. We are well aware that many people have been deprived of their...
The same thing back then, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to show y'all. Maybe I'll talk about this another time, right? But because y'all probably don't care about this, but I just always find it entertaining because 2 white allies went in on each other. You know what I'm saying? They tried to expose each other. No. They tried to expose each other, but we'll talk about that another time.
State College. The central issue there as well.
Yeah, a damn white woman. They thought that she was messing with this brother who was a militant, but he was also on that a socialist, you know, like when I was showing with Mark Lamont Hill, that democratic socialist BS, people of the world nonsense, you know, where we like, because when they be like the black and whatever struggle is always the black people fighting for them. Like if you show whatever, like show me when black people and whatever group Palestine was united. If you go back to the 60s, it's always the black people from the 60s standing up for them, but never the same the other way around. But really, they only go to, well, look at George Floyd. Well, the irony is it was the Palestinian that started the whole thing in the first place, you know. So that's just the funny part of how Black people don't add up, you know what I'm saying? Our politics don't add up.
Is a student demand for a Black Studies program controlled by students and faculty.
The strikers have offered to shut up and let us walk.
All right. So yeah, man, these brothers were, what's up? So the new African
Political
movement and prison. These was the brothers who was locked up
in the prison in terms of reform. I just got the whole. I did 17 months over there, and there wasn't no toilet, no nothing in nothing in the cells. You know what I mean? There's defecation on the tiers. You know what I mean? And you just stayed over there. You shower once a week. You know what I mean? You ain't got no hot and cold water in your cell, nothing but cold water. What are you here for, bro? I'm here for robbery. How long you been here? I've been in San Quentin 20 months now. How long you gonna be here? I think about another 2 years. What you gonna do when you get out? Well, I'm gonna try to go out and help my people. You know, that's what I'm trying to do now in here.
What's up, brother?
I work in the gymnasium. You know, I just sweep, mop, you know, lift weights, recreation things. You're not taking any trade?
And they be like, and look, and I know there's a stereotype, because it is true. Like a lot of people, we've been talking about it, when people have just enough information to where they think that you can't tell them nothing, but not enough information to know that they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Then we looked at the people who know they don't know what the hell they're talking about and know they're wrong, but they do it anyway because they're individuals. But a lot of times, you know, we leave out because we make fun of the young brothers who don't learn something who's in prison. And like I said, we get like the whole, you know, like the Living Color skit where the brother, you know what I'm saying, always saying the big words and it don't mean nothing. But people leave out the fact that, like, listen, when you're out on this, like, they get a terrible education. They don't have time to stop or whatever. They especially starving, like, don't have jobs or whatever. And now you see, what are Black jobs? What are Black jobs? You know, apparently it's the prisons. You know what I'm saying? Our job is to keep the prison full. But that's the point. People don't act like that whole thing doesn't exist. And sometimes people don't get an opportunity to read or meet somebody who knows anything until they get locked up and they don't understand something. And a lot of times they get the juveniles, because that's another thing. The juvenile system was really created in like the 60s and the, you know, after they made whatever we was talking about last time. I forgot exactly what it was. Where they started criminalizing, you know, that whole with Nixon, right before Nixon and them came in, where they criminalized a lot of stuff, like the poverty and stuff, and locked a lot of the youth up, and they created a juvenile system then. But I'm sorry.
No, well, I was told when I first got up here that I was dangerous and I was militant, and they didn't want to let me in any kind of trade. So I stayed locked down for about 6 months when I first got up here. And then they finally let me get a job in the gym. They told me I couldn't get anything else. They told me the bakery had a year waiting list. So I went to board, and board, you know, they're gonna let me get a transfer now. But it's cut back on everything. What about you, brother? Well, literature, dealing with just plain articles, you know. We're not allowed to voice our opinions. I was locked in the hole for a poem I wrote. You know, I was denied a year at the board for a poem I wrote. This is all because of the way I think, because of my ideas, you know, and they're frightened that the Black man here in the jail will get together and try to do something to change his condition. You think you have any problems because you gave this interview? Well, brother, I really don't know. Like I said, I always expect the worst and hope for the best. You know, me, because like I said, I was locked down for a poem I wrote. You know, so behind this interview, it's not no telling what might happen.
Letters from prisoners and pressures from the Soledad Brothers Defense Committee led to an investigation by a caucus of Black California legislators on conditions inside.
How long you been here? I've been in San Quentin.
Right, you know, so you know these brothers.
Methods of discriminatory and racist practices.
They was asking them why they fought back and why because they killed a lot of you know,
I think most black organizations are concerned with
all right,
trade.
y'all. Let me say this first. All right, y'all. Let me know if number one. I want to tell y'all this because I wanted to show y'all something, but like I would probably have to tell y'all the story of it. It's not long or nothing, but it's probably not good. I don't know if you want to hear that, So y'all let me know if you want to hear that. But it's a Black History thing, you know what I'm saying? It is the story of a young brother named Henry Monroe, you know what I'm saying? Let me know if you want to see that. Because it's crazy because we was just talking about, the white bitches and all that. But if y'all don't want to see it, I won't play it, And if anybody want to come on here, just let me know. All right. Now, if nobody say nothing, I'm going to play it. All right. So say no if y'all don't want to hear it. But there's also the Black Liberation Army, which is not much out today without no political nonsense. But okay. Yeah, you reminded me of that when you said okay, I'll play it.
United States that were ever assassinated. The slogan of that time was "A pig is a pig," because that's what they called police officers. It was the uniform. It didn't.
That's right. A pig is a pig.
That were ever assassinated. The slogan of that time was "A pig is a pig," because that's what they called police officers. It was the uniform. It didn't matter if they were white or if they were black.
Diane Piagentini's husband, Joe, and his partner, Waverly Jones, were executed in Harlem on May 21st, 1971.
This is where he was killed. He was in the bushes over here.
Both ambushed from behind. Jones died instantly with a shot to the skull.
This is Waverly Jones's funeral. This is his mom, his children.
Joe Piagentini, married just 5 years and a 27-year-old dad of 2 daughters, had begged for mercy.
They emptied their gun into him, and then they took his revolver out and shot him as he was pleading for his life. They found 22 bullet holes in him. It was the Black Liberation Army.
The killers, part of a movement that would kill 10 cops nationwide. Piagentini's gun kept as a trophy until it was dug up on a Mississippi farm 3 years later. 14 years later, a rookie officer named Edward Byrne would also be assassinated on a Queen Street corner on orders from a jailed drug enforcer, angry he was back in prison.
We lose one, they lose one. Let's send a message to them. Send a message out.
In both cases, the killers got 25 years to life, a possible chance on orders from a jail.
Now, some people say this is like the music as you're supposed to hear.
14 years later, angry he was back in prison.
We lose one, they lose one. Let's send a message to them. Send a message out.
Facts, brother.
A sense of what it's like to prepare a victim impact statement every 2 years, something she's been doing since the year 2000.
It's like you have a wound and it has a scab on it, and every 2 years you're picking at that scab.
Sound familiar, no,
And
right.
it hurts. The brains behind the Piagentini-Jones execution was Albert Washington, and he died in prison. But Herman Bell and Anthony Bottom remained there, using Muslim names now.
I think they out of jail now, though. But anyway, like this brother said.
Angry he was back in prison.
We lose one, they lose one. Let's send a message to them.
All right, but I have to tell you the story of, and then I'm gonna show you the scene or whatever on the movie. So all right, and in Oxford, all right, in Oxford, North Carolina, right, in 1970, black 23-year-old, he was a Vietnam veteran, Henry Monroe. And he got shot by like this white family doing like this confrontation. So he was playing outside with his friend. He was playing cards with his friends, right? So he just went to the store to get something to drink. Now the store was owned by this white dude named Robert Till, who was connected to the KKK. And Till had a criminal record already. and black people was protesting this store because he had beat a black woman who was a teacher because she was arguing with his wife, and so like he beat her up, right? And then so according to the story, right, the dude Robert Till said he was outside with his son and his wife Judy, and they were standing in the parking lot when they heard Henry make a remark to her, you know, like they tried to be like Emmett Till whistled at a white girl, you know. And so they said he made a remark to her, right? And so later the white bitch testified that he spoke ugly words to her, and then you know, his stepson, another dude who was inside their store, right? They ran back into the store and got like 2 shotguns and then and something else, you know. And so later the dude Till said that nigger committed suicide coming in here wanting to F my daughter-in-law, right? So the brother Henry was trying to tell them, no, I was talking to 2 black women. He wasn't even talking to them. It was 2 black women sitting right there, right? And so he was like, he was telling them, he was trying to explain to them, I wasn't even talking about it, but the white dude wasn't trying to hear it. So they hit him with a 2x4, right? And so the brother Henry had a knife on him and he pulled it out. Now, remind you, he was a 23-year-old Vietnam veteran, right? So he pulled out a knife in self-defense. Now, it was several witnesses standing there, black people standing there, and they saw it, but then most of them took off running when they saw the white dude coming across the street with a rifle and 2 shotguns. So the brother Henry took off running, and the dude Robert Till opened fire and hit him in the back. And then his other friend, who happened to be standing in the area, he kind of got hit with like something and he got wounded too, right? His name was Boo Chavis. So then they shot 2 more times and they knocked him to the ground. Then all of them stood over top of this brother as he laid on the ground, bleeding and stuff like that. And one witness said that they heard him say, yo, so they beat him up. And then a witness said they heard him say, son of a bitch, nigger, before firing the final shot in his head. Now, all 3 of them, well, 2 of them, the 2 dudes all 3 of them was indicted for murder, but an all-white jury found them not guilty, right? They claimed it wasn't murder because this is what the jury said, right? And the court and the judge said, they said it wasn't murder because the gun accidentally went off when the dude Roger Oakley got bumped by Roger Till by accident, and the gun went off by mistake, so it's not murder. Now, after the shooting, some people rioted and some people held peaceful rallies and protested. And they burnt down several white-owned businesses and warehouses, right? But Henry's cousin, Benjamin Chavis, organized a boycott against that Till store. So that's why that was already a boycott against it. Now, riot lasted for 4 days and there was $1 million in damages. But you know what? The boycott only lasted for 18 months. And no matter if the people protested or peacefully or they rioted, the young brother, Henry Dickey, never got justice. All right. All right, I'm going to put the link in there. This is, damn, I hope this is the right part. I forgot. I hope now, because you mentioned something about blood in my eyes. This one is called Blood Then Sign My Name. This is the name of the movie. I remember I watched this movie like a couple years ago when I heard about it. It's a movie about what happened. Now, of course, it's just a movie, right? And it's a dramatization. I hope it stay on the right part. Of course, I got these ads now. But I'm going to show y'all the scene of what really happened. And then I'm going to put the link in there. And then I'm going to get up out of here. Damn, it was just gonna hurry up and play. I guess I should have been letting it do it while I was on the other part. Because it keeps stopping every like 2 seconds. Like, what's going on? Post the link. Oh yeah, all right. I'm gonna post the link. It's not going through. Damn.
Not announcing my menu.
Oh, my bad. Hold on. My bad, y'all. Of course it got messed up. All right, here we go. All right, this is the part right here. This is the brother Henry Hickey that we was just talking about.
Okay,
Why don't you go find Boo and play a couple hands of Beerwis? I know you've been wanting to catch up.
Nah, I ain't paying for none of this stuff.
Okay.
I'll be back in a bit.
I'll be waiting.
Plus, this ain't YouTube. This a whole nother. It's like a free movie site.
Who's there?
Sticky Fanny, how you feeling?
I'm hanging
Oh,
in
my
there.
bad. Oh, let me get to the right
You're looking
part.
for Boo, ain't
Bet you that's the last time Roger comes over for dinner.
okay. I took out the trash and broke down those boxes. Anything else?
Yeah. Go lock up the barber shop.
How much longer are we gonna be here?
Well, the old man turns the lights out. You closing up? I bet you that's the last time Roger comes over for dinner.
Hey! Dickie! Is that you?
Yes, ma'am, Miss Dinah. You seen Boo?
Nah, man.
Nowhere. All right. Hey, girls. Y'all looking good tonight. Is this where all the action is? I can't believe y'all out here all by yourselves.
Hey, nigger! Hey, you! It's my wife you're talking to.
Hey, man, listen, I was just talking to the sisters here.
Right.
Hey, man, it's cool. Listen, I was just talking to the sisters over here.
The hell you were.
Man, what are you doing?
I'll show you what I'm doing.
Larry, no!
Hey!
Larry, no! Stop it! Larry, stop! Stop!
Damn! You're crazy, man!
He's got a knife!
Hey, Dickie! Hey, where's the fire? I didn't do nothing! Okay. Okay. You got me. Just forget about it. You got me. woman. We'll lock up the stores. Oh, God! Oh, God, Dickie! Hey, bro, go get the car! Go get the car!
All right, yo. See, yeah, I told y'all probably ain't want to see that, but it's not funny. But you know, the worst part is like when we be like, yo, we want to be like them and all of that. This is their mentality, you know what I'm saying? And when we be like, yo, they can't pay, and the problem is this was actually a real thing that happened, you know, and it was much worse than if this was a movie version of it, but this was something that was actually real that happened. So when we sit here and have the uneducated enough conversations that we have, you know, we have to understand what we are talking about, you know. Let me put the link in there real quick. Let y'all say y'all peace. Anybody want to come on here, say their peace before we get off of here. Now, I didn't want to play that, but I did remember seeing that. Oh, you said that's the reboot and not the original. Now, from what I remember, I think it was like much more graphic, if I can remember. Well, yeah, you know, and you know that brother, you know, Dickie. So when we have these conversations about politics, because to them our lives are politics, right? All of these things to them are politics, but we don't understand. You know, when we understand the truth is, we know that they're going to have to pay for everything that they have done, right? And there's no assimilating into that culture. There's no trying to be with them, right? Do you think that white girl tried to get justice for that brother, or she went along with the BS that the rest of them was saying? Now the movie tried to make it seem like she was trying to stop it, but she wasn't. She was the one that was like, oh, he offended me, he said rude things. Now he probably said, oh, hey, how you doing, to some black women, which probably wasn't even offensive, but to them even saying that is offensive. But then you see here, you got your politicians on both sides, you know. Well, listen, you know, I get what you're saying, that work, and that's the point of this channel. It's like, the truth is, this is propaganda channel, but it doesn't mean it's not the truth. It doesn't mean it's not facts, you know. And the truth is, we have no damn friends, but we never learned that, you know. Because to us, you know, we just don't understand, you know. We just don't understand the mentality, you know what I'm saying? This is the mindset that we got. We always going to defend something or some nonsense, but at the end of the day, there is no way that we can be friends with them. We can be a part of them. We can do anything with them, you know. But unfortunately, a lot of...
I've never dated black. I'm a white person trapped in a black skin. I've never dated black people. I'm not black enough for the black culture, but I'm not white enough for the white culture. But that's not my fault. I was raised white. So now, from the beginning, I was raised white. I never had to learn how to eat with my hands. Something simple. I always thought of marrying a white man. So I can't, it's not like I can't identify with being black. It's just, I never learned how to. And I never had.
And that's why, though, because we don't want to discuss some of the real things that happen, because we might get, well, the thing is, we should be mad, you know, and we should be mad at what's going on today, because we see how everybody else responds when they are in danger, when there's a threat against them, right? And we stand up and fight for everybody but our damn self. In fact, we fight ourselves when we don't know who the real damn enemies are.
Had the opportunity to learn from black people. So I'm white. Now.
All right, so she is white, she says. Yo, what's going on, my brother?
Hey, what's up, okay? You hear me, man?
Yeah, I hear you. What's going on, bro?
Yeah, I'm chilling, man. How you doing, bro?
I'm good. I'm good. How you, bro?
Yeah, I'm chilling, man.
Yeah, man.
That's an old movie, man. I mean, it's been out for a minute, right?
Yeah, it's been out for a minute. I seen that one years ago.
Yeah, because I mean, I know it at least been out like about damn near 15 years ago. But it was a movie, another movie. That's why I thought it was another movie. It's another movie, probably the same story, but it might be another name. But it came out some years ago, man. I mean, like back in probably around the 80s or something like that. But yeah, I was just thinking you were talking about the movie, about I mean the true story of the movie, and you know about how they was boycotting that store, and how our brother Ben Chavis was involved in it. And,
yeah, Benjamin Chavis started it.
Yeah, and you remember because it was in like North Carolina somewhere. Was it in North Carolina somewhere, or was it in?
Yeah, it was in Oxford.
Like it was in Wilmington or something. It was in Wilmington somewhere.
It was in Oxford, North Carolina. I forgot what that's near. It might be near Wilmington, but it's in Oxford, North Carolina.
Yeah. Okay, because you remember that Ben Chavis and some brothers who was with him, man. You know, eventually I think they ended up like burning that store down. Yeah, you know, it was a big old thing, like a riot down there, you know, behind that. And you know, Ben Chavis, and that's why I keep thinking, I don't know why I keep saying his name, Wilmington. But yeah. You know, Ben Chavis did like about 10. But then eventually, they got it.
Your last sentence went out. You kind of like go in and out. Your last sentence went out.
I know what it is. It's this thing I got. I'm gonna turn it off.
Can you hear me now, Borges?
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, you good now. Go ahead.
Cause I had to turn it forecast.
Yo, you can hear me? I don't think you can hear me.
Hey, let me go out again.
Yeah, I'm gonna come out and come back in. But yeah, man, he was about to break down, the brother Ben Chavis, because he knows about the riot down there, and because that's what some people tried to protest peacefully, but some people did tear stuff up. You know what I'm saying? They burned down white-owned businesses. But the part that made me mad was that all those black witnesses witnessed that, and they ran. What's going on, my brother? Yeah, you back? You on mute?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I thought you was talking. I was listening to that show.
No, I was just talking till you came back. Go ahead.
Yeah, but Ben Chavis and the brothers who was with him, man, it was about like because it was like 10 of them. Because I think the case they called like the Wilmington 10 or something like that. But anyway, those brothers all got prison sentences behind it. Because like I ain't 100% sure. because it's been a long time since I was reading about it, since I was studying about it. But I think that like eventually like they had burnt the store down. Somebody burnt the store down. Somebody had burnt the store down. You know, it was a mess, like a riot and everything. The store ended up getting like burnt down or whatever. But Ben Chavis and them and 9 other brothers, they all got convicted, of the crime, for burning the place down. And they all got like 10, 15, 20 year sentences. And like Ben Chavis did about 10. He did about a whole 10. He did like at least 8. Like 8, 9, or 10 years behind that, Yeah, I was just giving that as a follow-up to the story.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that. I definitely got to conclude that. Yeah, I didn't know that part.
Yeah. They ended up they did prison time behind it, man. Because the protest was behind the shooting of that brother, and nothing had happened. They didn't get no justice for it, so they man, we gotta do something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, facts. Yeah, I gotta definitely do more research onto that because I know Ben Chavis started the protests and all of that stuff, and yeah, they burned down a bunch of white-owned businesses and stores and all of that stuff in that area, and they was whipping their ass when they came in their communities and stuff like that. But I definitely gotta I didn't know he went to jail for 10 years after that. But and also, man, we got to talk about probably on another one about George Jackson, because it's a complicated thing with the brother, but he was definitely a real one too, though.
Hey, like maybe we can talk about it another time. We can talk a little bit about him, though. I mean, we know that brother George. I used to have that book, man, a long time ago. I had a book, he had wrote a book called Blood in My Eyes. He was basically like telling his life story, and how he ended up in prison, and his transformation into like a black revolutionary and everything, I mean, it was a pretty good book, man. I had a lot of extras. We used to read them, and we had some classes that one of our instructors used to read them in, used to read it, and and kind of break things down for us, because at that time I was in Job Corps, man. This was way back in the 80s, and I had an instructor, Mr. Fred Parker, man. He's dead now, but Mr. Fred Parker, he was in the movement back in the 60s, man. He was in the black college. He was a black college student. He was in the struggle, man. He went, I know he's what was going on back then, man. And like a lot of those people, some of those people that we know, that like luminaries to us, like in the Black Liberation movement, he knew him. I mean, he knew him. I mean, he knew him personally, or he knew him. He was around him and stuff, man. But we was talking about George Jackson, man. And like you said, the brother. Like from what I get about George Jackson, he was a brother just like a lot of other young brothers. In the street, you know how you have certain circumstances. Just think about, like, for example, how things was. Remember in Richmond back in the late 80s and the early 90s, like when that crack epidemic hit. You know what I'm saying, Forgas? Think about how things, how crucial things was then. And I know it was like that in Richmond, because it was like that in Shreveport. And I know you on the East Coast and close to Washington, D.C., so I know it was worse. Or as bad. You know what I'm saying? So just think about, just think about it. And I mean, I remember going through Richmond in the early 90s. And so just think about a young man, 18, 19 years old at that time, living in that environment, jobs were scarce, money. I mean, the condition, you know what I'm talking about. So, and then everybody not being strong, man, and a lot of brothers rather take the shortcuts than the long cuts, you know what I'm saying? And so you make a mistake. you end up going to jail. Now he went to jail on some stuff that, you know, I mean, he was supposed to get the kind of time he did. But, you know, because, you know, when he went, he started going through a transformation. When people see it, so they, you know, we ain't gonna let this nigga go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, I mean, when he was in prison, I mean, you know, the brother became one of the most powerful brothers in America. I'm saying this for in prison, in the whole prison system in America, man. I mean, the man was respected by brothers all over the country, man. And and also by black people in general, like in the revolutionary movement, like the Panthers. You know, the Panthers made him like an honorary member of the Panther Party. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just how sharp the brother was, man. You know, he went to the library every day, he read, he studied, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, he evolved from just a guy who was like, you know, probably a street guy, you know what I'm saying? Into, you know, this brother who was a real deep thinker, man. You know what I'm saying? And a brother who was really down, you know, with the struggle for his people. And so, you know, that's just to give a little background about George Jackson, man.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's why I said, you know, we definitely gonna have to have a conversation about it because it's complicated. Like, because that's why I was like, when he was in jail, that's why I didn't even want to go talk about like deep on like, oh, he got locked up or whatever he got locked up for.
That's what I'm kind of holding back a little bit now. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, but at the same time, like, also, you know, how he read a lot of those Marxists, like, because you got to bring all of that into it, and then Angela Davis come into it, and then all of that, you know, so that's a whole conversation, you know. You want to say anything about the, you know, that whole Democrat Republican thing I was showing earlier before we get off here? Because I don't want to talk about that. You know, a lot of people think like you can't talk before we talked about politics, and before it was more like, oh, lesser of two evils and all of that. But this time it's a lot different, you know. And I don't want to get caught up into the social media part of it anyway. It's more like we like arguing like Democrats and Republicans left and right. Like I've heard way too many black people arguing about that. Like it's not too old, same white dudes, you know.
Yeah. I'm like, I mean, I'm like what I remember what H. Rell Brown said. H. Rell Brown had a lecture where it was called the politics of the education. It was about everything, you know. He was talking about, you know, the Democrats and the Republicans. You know, he said, and like he said, you know, he was echoing what Malcolm said. It ain't no damn difference. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no damn difference. You know, Malcolm said they both dogs and they both want to bite you. You say one a wolf and one a fox. I mean, you know, I look at it like this here. I remember when Biden became president. You remember when he had that little speech with Jim Clyburn them? What's that other chick, the sister with the glasses and the low haircut? Her name is like Simone something. But it was a group of them, a group of those.
Simone Sanders.
I think, okay, that's probably her. Well, it was a group of them. They were talking to Biden. They was having a little conversation, and somebody must have forgot to turn the recorder off or something. And you know, and Biden was up there going in on their ass and told them, "Look here, you know, let me tell y'all something like this here." You know, I mean, and he was like, he was going in on them, and you know, and they were just like,
"Hey, not to cut you off, but you saying when he was like." America is doomed not just because of African Americans. It's like because of Hispanics too. That's the way he's talking.
I don't know if that was it, man. It might have been. I mean, it might have been something. But it was like at a press, you know. It was just like it was after he had won, and then you know they was kind of like,
on the Zoom press conference, right?
Yeah, and it was kind of like, basically like, well, hey, you know, hey, President, hey, Mr. Biden, and asked him something like, and he basically like, hey, look, let me tell y'all something. I told y'all in the beginning that things were not going to change a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? He was saying things are not going to change a whole lot. It's not from previous administration. Hey, the previous administration was the Trump administration. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it really don't, people will go and sit and tell you this. You know, you got Negroes who, you know, members of the Democratic Party, you know, who will go, and these black Democrats will go and tell you, man, we got to get out and vote and all this other shit here. But I mean, every year it's the same old damn thing, man. I mean, what is your vote got you? Okay, now I see voting like in local elections and stuff like that. That's cool. I understand that. No, that's important to me. But like vote for a president, man, to me that ain't even important. Cause it doesn't matter who the president is gonna be. You had Barack Obama for 8 years. It don't matter, man. You know what I'm saying? That's a corporate thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Whoever's in that office is not gonna do nothing for your black ass. You know what I'm saying? If he could be the blackest Negro in Georgia, he's not gonna do nothing for your ass because he works for them. He works for this corporate entity thing. You know what I'm saying? This is like, remember when Obama became president, the first thing he did, he wasn't going around doing nothing for nobody black ass. He was going around building out Fannie Mae and building out the automobile industry and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's a corporate thing. That's corporate America. The president is, the whole that's controlled by corporations, financial corporations. That ain't got nothing to do with making no change for your ass and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Or giving you reparations. And you ain't never going to know. We're talking about reparations, man. You ain't gonna get reparations unless you get a gun and go and fight and take it. That's the only goddamn way you gonna get it. You gonna get it. But man, no, man, that ain't.
No, Anthony. No, I was saying, man, I don't know. You tripping? Biden just got a stuttering problem. He he studied too many numbers, bro. You don't know. You tripping, bro?
Yeah, he probably got Alzheimer's, man. You know, the motherfucker. What he about 80? What? About 85? I listened to a little bit of it, man. I had to turn it off. I said, that's the first thing I said, man, he on that new dope, man. What wrong with the dude? Joe Biden on that new dope, man.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I didn't watch it at all. I just seen people talking about it so much. I know everybody what happened. Like it's crazy.
I couldn't look at. I walked out the room, man, because I wasn't at home. I was over my cousin in the house, and they was looking at it. I was just like, man, I can't look at no more of this. I went outside, man. Because you ever funny to me. I said, man, this old senile old man. You know what I'm saying? But you know, man, that's my view about the Democratic Republican Party, man. Like I'm saying, no, I'm not telling nobody don't go and vote. I'm saying like in your local elections and things, those are things that affect you directly. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about vote for a president, man. It don't matter what you can vote for whoever you want to vote. Man, when he get in office, he ain't working for your ass or nobody else's ass. He is working for corporate interests. That's all. That's it. For the money.
Yeah. And I agree with that, and then even when they be like, you would stutter, remind me of that movie. I think it was Harlem Nights, right? With the boxer who was stuttering, and the thing he was like, I'm a whoop your ass or whatever he said. You seen that movie? It was Harlem Nights, right? I don't know if it was.
Probably.
Yeah. But anyway, bro. So before we get off of here, just last words, my brother. What is the political mathematics?
What's the political mathematics?
What's the political math?
Man, I don't know what
mathematics for today.
Man, I don't know what no goddamn political mathematics is. All I know is black people. Black people. We need to stick together. We need to build our community. You know what I'm saying? We need to build up us. We need to do everything that we done always heard. We're supporting black business, supporting each other, building our own schools. You know what I'm saying? Everything that we need to do, and we don't need to be worried about their thing, man. Because that ain't gonna work for us, man. The hell, it ain't work. It ain't worked for the last 500 years. You know what I'm saying? You let a couple of Negroes in there and get in. And get next to them and party with them, but that ain't the majority of us. Man, we gotta look out for everybody else. Look out for themselves, but us. You know what I'm saying? You go to Asian community, they stick together, they support each other financially, politically, everything. You know what I'm saying? The Jews, they do the same thing. The Chinese, the Italians, everybody else do the same thing, but we the only ones sitting up here still fighting to be part of this motherfucker. When after 500 years, when you gonna recognize them? They don't give a damn. They don't want you to be a part of this shit. You know what I'm saying? If they don't want you to be a part of this shit, why you keep wanting to be a part of this shit? Build your own motherfucking shit. You know what I'm saying? Build your own. Goddamn, you know, we could build our own schools, man. We could build our own. We could start our own businesses. You know, we could put our money together and buy land and grow, and we can have our own grocery store. We can have everything that we need, just like other people have the same thing, do the same thing. You know, we gotta get off of this old trying to get into their cookout shit, man. That's what I say. Yeah, you know, we need to have our own goddamn cookout. And fuck everybody else, man. Let's worry about our damn self.
Yeah, that's definitely the math for today. Have our own cookout and that for everybody else, and to build your own. That's definitely today's mathematics. And you know what political mathematics is? I say 600, 700 years. Really 2,000. You could go really at what 6,000, 7,000. Right? And how many of us have been able to be adapted? Zero. You know what I'm saying? So 600 years in this whole thing. How many of us have been able to become a white person? Zero. That's today's political mathematics, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna let this brother break down the political mathematics of what it really is, even though I played it already.
New Black Panthers from voter intimidation charges. The head of the group now with these kind words.
I hate white people. All of them. Every last iota of a cracker, I hate it. You want freedom? You're going to have to kill some crackers. You're going to have to kill some of their babies.
It's iota. Is that Blanca say yes, Harlem Nights.
Ooh, that message.
Huh.
That's real.
Every last iota of a cracker. You know, and yeah, bro, we're gonna I guess next couple of days or whenever you free, bro, we'll talk about George Jackson. And those of you who are the Democratic Socialist brothers out there who want to defend this, your people of color nonsense, you know what I'm saying? You are definitely welcome to come through.
Hey, you know what, Forecast? Also, he read about, you know, he got into the whole socialist thing, you know, Marxism, Maoism, you know, Leninism, communism, socialism, whatever, you know, they call it so many damn different things now. They said, yeah, he did get into that, but you know, he did kind of later, he was one of those kind of brothers, he didn't completely 100% lose their nationalism. See, one of the first things that the Black Panther Party used to say, you know, when they because you know a lot of brothers and sisters who had joined them came from that black nationalist background. You know, some of them did, and the first thing they would say was, because see, they got them marching orders from the Communist Party USA, and they said, hey man, look here, y'all got to tell them they got to lose that old black nationalist stuff, that old black nationalist talk. So when the recruits, would meet, talking about joining, he said, well, look here, one thing y'all got to do, y'all got to lose that nationalism. But see, George Jackson, he wasn't with that totally losing that black nationalism thing, you know. And I think it's kind of because, you know, he created another movement, it's a movement in prison, and you know, it turned into something else. But I'm saying, he created a movement, you know, behind the wall, man, you know, beside the Black Panther Party. It was called the Black Guerrilla Family.
Yeah.
Now you know, it's mostly known as a prison gang now, but that wasn't what it was when he started, though.
Yeah.
You know, it was like kind of like.
Yeah, like all gangs, like all of the so-called gang. I say so-called now because I be tripping when people say so-called, but all the so-called gangs started as one thing and became something different. You know,
but it originally, when he started, it was like a black empowerment, black improvement thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and that's what I'm saying.
Like, yeah, but you know, he was a deep brother though, man. Yeah, like I say, man, let me know, we get together, we'll talk about it, man.
Yeah, we can come up with some. I'm gonna hit you up anyway. I'm gonna hit you up on the joint like either soon, like probably tomorrow or something like that, and we'll talk about it. Cause yeah, like cause you know your boy would use it and then bring through people like Angela Davis. What the hell happened? Like cause at the
Yeah.
beginning I'm like, oh, she a revolutionary, but then like, damn, is that a damn white girl with you? And then like, oh, what happened? And then you know brothers would be like, oh no, you can mess with white girls and still, you know what I'm saying, be pro-black. And then that whole that whole thing started. And then they got your boy still bringing her on your boy Dr. Jared Ball bringing her on talking about some damn Angela Davis and people of color nonsense and teaching this crap to I'm sorry, it's my own personal joke because it's like goes the whole rabbit hole with that nonsense. Well, anyway.
Yeah, you get to talking about this a bunch of ways.
And political math is like the political math is 2 black parents equals black child. You know what I'm saying? That's the political math. You know.
You know, I'm gonna tell you something before we leave. They did something. They know. Look here, people know. You know, people know when they ain't keeping it real, man. When you know, like now, see the name of the name of their show was Power Media over there, Dr. Jerry Ball. Now it was Black Power Media, but they changed it now. They changed the name of Black Power Media. They changed it now to Black Liberation Media. You know what I'm saying? There's a big difference. You got to think about it, though. There's a big difference.
Yeah, I know.
You know, we gonna talk about it.
Yeah,
Talk about it though, man.
And that's the thing. They had the Black Liberation Army, which the brother had, you know. But yeah, that's the whole thing. That's what I mean. I agree with you, bro. Like because that's what and that's what we was talking about. Even with this whole thing, all of it goes back to really the same damn issue, which is we don't know who our freaking enemies is, and we don't know who our friends is, and you know we think we don't have no allies. You know what I'm saying? We don't have no political knowledge, and we don't, you know. But man, let's get off of here, bro. I don't want this jump to be super long anyway. But so I appreciate you for coming on here, bro. I'm gonna hit you up tomorrow.
All right, man. Stay up, man. I'm gonna holler at you.
All right, bro. All right. So yeah, shouts out to my brother Anthony for coming on here. Shouts out to Blanca Jay. Appreciate you. Shouts out to Raw who was in the building. Appreciate it. Shouts out to Cassandra Realm in the Bush. Appreciate you for coming through. Shouts out to Kofi. I appreciate you coming through, my brother. I appreciate it. Shouts out to everybody else. Oh yeah, man, y'all subscribe to Realm in the Bush with Cassandra. Well, I guess not I can subscribe, but support what she doing. And also the matron. Shouts out to matron. She gonna probably be back reading tomorrow. So y'all tune in to the matron channel. So shouts out to her. But as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we're gonna keep falling for anything.